Pleasant Valley Elementary School, located in Altoona, Pennsylvania, is full of spaces that work for ideal classroom management. Classroom management can be attained in a variety of ways, but one of the most important is the way in which a classroom is set up. By cultivating an environment where students are set up to succeed, great success is made. According to a book entitled Yardsticks by Chip Wood, it's vital that children are able to process the way in which their day is going to go. Wood suggests that a quiet reminder can make a world of difference in the classroom. Pictured here is a chart in a kindergarten classroom that changes every day according to that day's schedule. There is a clothespin placed at the part of the day in which they are at. When the teacher moves the clothespin, this is a gentle reminder of how much time is left in the day and what is still to come. Chip Wood also believes that when working with young children, it's vital that we enforce good behavior in the classroom and help students realize when they're getting off track. This behavior chart pictured here hangs in a kindergarten classroom at Pleasant Valley Elementary School. Each child starts the day off with their clothespin and ready to learn, and as the day goes on, they either move up or down the ladder. This motivates the children to behave well and also lets them know without little disruption when they need to improve their behavior. In the morning meeting book written by Roxanne Crate, she discusses the importance of a circle space in a classroom. She says that a circle area creates an atmosphere where all children are respected and acknowledged. Photographed here is an example of where this classroom has their morning circle. They discuss the weather, read together, and talk about the plans for the day. Even though the spaces on this rug aren't in a circle, this is still where the children sit. In the book entitled Classroom Spaces That Work by Marilyn Clayton, there are a variety of examples in ways that classrooms can be organized and set up for optimal classroom management. The first of her ideas is a place where children can line up to exit the classroom. Pictured here, the teacher of this kindergarten classroom created a line using numbers for the children to exit the classroom. Each child has a number, and there are never any fights about who is where in line. It also suggests that clearly labeling all storage spaces can be very helpful. In these pictures, the children's iPad are organized carefully for them to get when it's time for them to use, as well as their books at their each individual level. The iPads have the same numbers as the children's numbers where they line up in line to exit the classroom, so it is easy for them to remember. In addition to those ideas, Clayton believes that it's very important for students to have a place to cool down when they're feeling angry, upset, or anxious in the classroom. This canopy is used as a fake tree, and when a student needs time away from others to cool down, they often head under this canopy, sit on a plush tree trunk, and read a book. In classroom spaces that work, it's also recommended that furniture can be easily moved when it's time for physical activity in the classroom. This classroom is designed in desk pods that can easily be pushed back for when the class does its brain breaks in the classroom, which includes silly dance videos and Zumba. Clayton also recommends having easy access to a sink for easy cleanup in the classroom and for easy experiments that children can do with water. Photographed here is the classroom sink, which is labeled and is always accessible to the children. This prevents children from needing to exit the room to wash their hands after using a tissue and allows the teacher to use the sink for science purposes. In the book, The First 6 Weeks of School, published by The Responsive Classroom, says that in order for a classroom to be easily managed, there needs to be scheduled quiet time. These unique bins are used for that purpose. When it's time for quiet time, the children grab their bin and can pick anything out of it that they want to work on. These bins typically have on-level reading and previous work for students to catch up on and get ahead of on the future. The children can sit on the floor or at a desk when they do this work. In the book, The First 6 Weeks of School, it is also suggested that in order for a classroom to have easy departure, children should know exactly where they are going at the end of the day. Photographed here is a bus list. When the patrol officer comes around at the end of the day to gather the younger children to get on the bus, they hold up these tags and read the names in order for the children to get with the right buddy for them to board their bus. This is very helpful for teachers and students as the end of the day departure can often be hectic. Fred Jones suggests that desks be spaced adequately for there to be a walkway for students within the classroom. Pictured here is an example of that. Jones also suggests that desks be spaced in a way that allows the room to feel less crowded. By putting the desks in pods in this classroom, the teacher has a great amount of carpet area still available. Jones also suggests a U-shaped desk arrangement in order for the students to never have their back to the board. This classroom, though not an exact U-shape, is a 6th grade classroom where students are primarily focusing on the teacher instead of working in groups. This works because each child has their body facing the teacher, even though it is not an exact U shape. Nanette Light, a writer for Dallas News, suggests using bouncy balls in a kindergarten classroom to keep children from getting out of their seat and expressing energy that they may have while sitting down. A child says, "It helps me because when I get wiggly, I don't have to act crazy. I can just bounce or wobble." Photographed here is an example of a bouncy ball in a classroom. Overall, classroom management can be shown through spaces that work in a classroom in many different ways. The previous pictures are just a few of the ways to create an environment where students are learning at the best of their ability.